Guys, welcome to Dentistry. Hope you are doing good. I am Dr. Ayshwarya with you for easy learning and better understanding. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go and subscribe to my channel and learn the dentistry in an easy manner. Today we are going to learn about the gingival recession. What is gingival recession? As you can see in the picture, it looks like this. The exposure of the root surface. The root surface is exposed, that is, root surface is visible, exposure is there, visibility is there due to the apical shift of the marginal gingiva. The marginal gingiva which is present on the tooth. If this is the tooth, this is the root part, this is the marginal gingiva. Okay. If it has shifted down, that means if this is the tooth and it has shifted here, there will be a visibility of the root will be there. That is known as the gingival recession. As you can see in the picture as well, types. Types are visible, clinically observable. That is, visibly you will be able to see the recession is present, but sometimes it is not visible. It is hidden by the gingiva, that is hidden or covered by the gingiva. When it is covered with the gingiva and you are not able to see with your naked eyes that gingival recession is there, only in the OPG or in the IOPA you are going to see the bone loss present or the recession will be there. That is known as hidden and covered gingiva. Okay. Etiology. How it happens. What is the cause of the gingival recession? First one is inflammatory factors. Inflammatory factors are due to the accumulation of the plaque in the tooth region. This causes the periodontal disease, and due to the periodontal disease, due to the inflammation of the periodontal disease, the toothbrush causes the injury. Okay, how inflammation takes place due to the periodontal disease? This is the first one. With the help of the toothbrush, when you are doing while brushing, when you are applying a excess force, at that time there will be a injury caused by the brush on the gingiva region, and that will cause the inflammation. This is the inflammation factor due to the periodontal disease and due to the rough brushing. Anatomic factors. What are the anatomic factors? Dehiscence. If there is a abnormalities, that is dehiscence is there. Thin bone plates. Okay. High frenum attachment. If the frenum of the patient is attached high, malocclusion is present, this will going to cause the gingival recession. Iatrogenic factors are if there is a deleterious habits present. Deleterious habits, that means pressure of the foreign bodies or the object like finger, nails, pencils or if a patient is using fingers or nails, fingernails, pencils and a hairpin, these are sharp objects. So it will going to create a pressure on the gingiva part that will cause a recession. If a patient is wearing a denture and a collapsed denture, at that time that will also cause the gingival recession. Prolonged orthodontic treatment. If a patient is under the prolonged orthodontic treatment, he or she may get the iatrogenic factors of gingival recession. What are the clinical signs? Clinical signs are exposed root will be seen with the carious part because of the plaque accumulation. Due to the food debris accumulation, there is a chances of caries. So, exposed root will be there with the caries. In interproximal recession, if there is a recession present at the interproximal space, there will be a presence of plaque and food debris accumulated. Dentinal hyperemia of the pulp. dentinal hyperemia will be there of the pulp, which is caused due to the wearing away of the cementum. The cementum will be removed or get removed from the region of the tooth, that is caused by the recession, and it will cause the dentinal hyperemia of the pulp. So this was the types, etiology and clinical signs. Now we are going to see the classifications, how the gingival recession is classified by the scientist. Classification of the gingival recession is, first one is according to the Sullivan and Atkin. They both has given the four types, that is deep narrow, deep wide, shallow wide and shallow narrow. There will be a narrow and wide two types. In that there will be deep and shallow. Use the trick here to learn. Deep and shallow is there, and narrow wide and wide narrow. Or you can use narrow wide, deep shallow. Okay. According to P.D. Miller, P.D. Miller has classified four class. In the first class, he has said the marginal tissue recession is not extending to the mucogingival junction. As you can see in the picture, the mucogingival junction and marginal tissue recession is not extending. There is a no bone loss. It is not extending. There is no bone loss and soft tissue loss. In the second one, there will be a extension or beyond, extension to, or it is beyond to. It is extending to or beyond the mucogingival junction. There will be a no bone loss, again no bone loss and no soft tissue loss. In the third one, there is a marginal gingiva tissue recession extending to or beyond the mucogingival junction. There will be a loss of the bone. In the third one, when we are reaching to the third class, there will be a loss of bone as well as the soft tissue in the interdental area. Which region? In the interdental area. There will be also the malpositioning of the tooth will be present in the third class. In the fourth class, again the same is repeated, which is repeated in the second, third and fifth. That is, it is extending to or it is extending beyond the mucogingival junction. But in the last class, there is a severity has occurred. There is a severe loss of the bone and the soft tissue in the interdental region. There is a severe malpositioning of the tooth taking place. The tooth has malpositioning is the tooth has displaced from the original position due to the pressure or due to the some kind of load, that is malpositioning of the tooth. Okay, due to the recession it has malpositioned. So in the class 1 it is not, nothing is happening. In the second one it is 2 or beyond, there will be no bone loss, and in the third one there will be a bone loss, and the last one it is a severe bone loss. And the marginal recession, it is extending 2 or beyond in 3. In the second, third and fifth is same, this line. Okay, and Sullivan and Atkin has said deep and shallow. They have divided into deep and shallow, that is deep narrow deep wide and shallow narrow shallow wide. Okay, this is the trick you will use here, and this is very easy to remember. So put it in your mind and learn the dentistry in an easy manner with pen dentistry. Okay, now we are going to see the treatment of the gingival recession. So of the gingival recession flap, gingival recession is based on the distribution of the recession. There are, I should tell you that there are many types of surgeries and flap surgeries which you can do for the gingival recession. I will be explaining you in my next lecture in a very detailed manner. Now I am explaining you here in a very few words. So this video should not get much bigger and lengthier. That's why I'm explaining here in a simple way. First one is based on the distribution of the recession. How much the recession is distributed. The first one is generalized. When the patient is having gingival recession generalized, the first one is free soft tissue graft. Free soft tissue graft, it is a graft. It is a graft we take from the oral mucosa and we attach in the site by measuring the area of this free soft tissue graft. Okay. The second one which we use is subepithelial connective tissue graft. From the hard palate or any of the region of the oral mucosa, you can take the connective tissue. You're going to take the connective tissue. We are using the connective tissue for the regeneration. That is why it is known as subepithelial connective tissue graft. We are placing the connective tissue graft on the site of the surgery, on the site of the recession area. That's why it is known as connective tissue graft. I will be explaining you this sub-tissue connective graft and GTR. You might have heard about the GTR membrane, guided tissue generation. These things I will be explaining you in a detailed manner in my next lecture. So keep watching Pen Dentistry. Coronally repositioned flap. Coronally repositioned flap, that is, you are going to, here you are repositioning your flap coronally, okay, localized. When the one tooth is involved, that is localized. Pedicel graft. Pedicel graft is used. Here pedicel graft is the small graft. You are going to stretch it from the adjacent tissue, okay. That is a pedicel graft. Guided tissue generation, that is DTR membrane. GTR membrane is used by the oral surgeons for the regeneration of the tissue. That's why it is known as GTR membrane. These are the membranes provided. You will going to easily apply on the surgical area where you want to regrow your tissue, and the suture is made on that, and after that the tissue will be grown. Coronary repositioned flap with seminular. Coronally repositioned, as I have told you, here also coronally repositioned flap we use, but in localized one, semilunar incisions is made. Semilunar incision is, it is an incision, it is like a moon shape. Lunar is moon, so it is semi, half moon incision is made. That's why it is known as semilunar. Coronary reposition, it is done based on the width of the attached gingiva. Width, how much the attached gingiva is having the width, okay, the down attached gingiva, okay, how much it is having the width. The first one is generalized. If a teeth which is involved are much more in number, we are going to use the free soft tissue graft. As I have told you, you are going to take the tissue from the edges, from the oral mucous area, and you are going to measure it and you are going to apply it. Subepithelial connective tissue graft. Connective tissue is taken from the mouth and subepithelially, and that connective tissue is placed for the regeneration of the further connective tissue and your gingiva. Localized, when it is localized, pedicel graft again placed. Pedicel graft is from the adjacent area. You are going to stretch your membrane and you are going to suture it on the area. If this is the tooth and this is the area which is having a recession, then you are going to make an incision on the adjacent tooth. You are going to stretch this membrane up till here and you are going to make a suture on that area, in this area, and because of the adjacent gingiva, this area will be covered like this, and further the healing will be taking place. and this will cover the your recession part. This will cover the gingival recession. This is the pedicel graft. Now coronary reposition graft with seminula, as I have told you here, coronary repositioning is done. Now what are the similar things I should tell you? In generalized, free soft tissue and subgingival we are using, and in localized pedicel and coronally we are using, but in the distribution of the gingiva we are using here coronally repositioned without the semilunar region, okay, and we are using the GTR membranes in the distribution, but we are not using here in the GTR membrane. We can use it. Many types of surgeries are also provided, that is lateral displaced flap, double papilla flap, coronally position flap. These are the more and more flaps used in the localized one, that I will be covering in my next video, because this video is getting vast. So that's why keep watching Dentistry and keep watching my further videos. It will be very helpful for you to learn the dentistry in an easy manner. Keep watching Dentistry. If you like the video, please subscribe, like and comment how the video is and which more topics you want to learn. That if you are going to comment me, I will be explaining the topics on that basis. Okay, thank you.